right, everybody. I'm very excited. We get to bring you the final match of 4-1-3 CS right before we go in to the play-ins, then leading to the playoffs. I'm really excited, Akshaw, because this game actually affects me going into the playoffs. So Havoc right now has the first spot, but I gotta say the Mountaineers are looking like a strong favorite to potentially take it today. That's what they're going to try to do. They could take first spot by winning today's game, and I believe they have to do it with a certain amount of maps on their hands, but if they do that, they could take that first spot away from Havoc and kind of change up how we have to play, although regardless, both Havoc or WVU are going to have to play 2 games to make it through the whole thing. That's assuming they win the first one. Hawkshaw, how are you feeling, man? I'm pretty excited.
I'm really excited. This is the final game of the 4-3 CS regular season. So that means next week we'll get into the play-ins and the playoffs. So this game will set everything in stone for where every single team is seated and where they stand in the play-ins and how hard they will have to work, essentially. Especially for the top 4 teams. A lot of them don't really have too hard of a schedule. Except for the fact that they have to play some of the higher tier teams, but they do not have to play as many games. Sorry. If you're in like the mid to lower tier, you do have to work your way up in the rankings, pretty much.
Yeah, and that's not something that's easy to do. Obviously, this sort of the purpose of this sort of play-ins, playoffs, the way it's designed is that, you know, the higher you're placed, you get some advantages, but it's not impossible for these bottom teams to make it through at the end. Going in here in a moment, just looking at the standings, currently, as I said, 4-3 Havoc does sit at the top, but we could expect that to change today. We can see the map differential already leaning in favor of WVU, so if they could win the game today, they would certainly be in that first place spot, meaning Havoc would most likely play Nightshade, WVU would play the winner of the play-ins, which is going to be the teams from 4 to 8, sort of a gauntlet type of thing there, where you're playing up through the rankings and then trying to make it into that spot against the number 1 seed. I'm actually kind of curious how some of the teams might be feeling about having to play Mountaineers instead of Havoc. It sort of depends on how you look at it, right? Havoc beat Mountaineers early, but we also lost a game to UAH, who you might not expect to be like one of the top teams, so that could bring us down a little bit. I'm kind of curious if teams are maybe more or less excited to possibly be playing Mountaineers. That's if they can get the win today against 4-3 Riot, Hawkshaw.
Yeah, the top 2 spots between Havoc and Mountaineers, it has been really close throughout the entire season. So to see, so if the Mountaineers are to move up in the first place spot, that would be a huge shift, I think, for a lot of the teams, because whoever wins the play-ins, they just have to go right in and play the Mountaineers right away. So it's gonna be pretty rough considering how strong of a team they are. And yeah, the number 3 spot, they might not have it as easy or that much easier, considering they have to play Havoc, another very strong team that we've seen throughout the entirety of the season.
Yeah, that number 3 team, I believe, is locked in to be Nightshade. Catalyst came very, very close to that spot. Obviously, they played an extra game, and that does sort of seem to have, in a way, set them behind. I forget exactly the result of those games. So, but yeah, it does seem like Nightshade is going to be in that 3rd spot. But I got to say, you know, Mountaineers can't perfectly rest, because whoever makes it out of that play-ins is a really strong team, especially if they come from the bottom. That would be huge.
Yeah, for sure. You know, the 4th, 5th, and 6th spot, in my opinion, have looked pretty strong when we talk about the mid-tier teams. Riot as well. They can't really be slept on. They have looked quite a bit better throughout the last couple of weeks, especially with some of the roster changes they've had. You know, with DJ swapping over to the main tank role, which is something we saw a couple weeks ago, where they got a 3-0 win with that lineup. So once they go into the play-ins, I believe they're already immediately qualified, regardless of whether they win or lose this game. I think they could have a good shot at their run through the play-ins if they keep that up.
And what I think is important about all of this is that the way it's set up in my eyes, we're gonna see a very exciting couple of games. I think no matter how it works out, no matter who ends up at the top, it's bound to be very exciting, especially due to some of the change-ups we've seen at the end of the season. Certain teams may be performing better than we thought. And speaking of that, as an example of what could happen today, a Riot versus WVU, it would certainly be an upset if Riot comes out really strong here today. And that's what they would look to do. If Riot did that, it would give them an insane amount of momentum heading into these play-ins, wouldn't it, Hawkshaw?
Yeah, for sure. And it would really show like how much potential they have, really. For a team like them to really put up a fight against one of the top teams throughout the tournament, that would be massive for them. And I think anyone who is in like the mid to lower tiers in the standings, they would be scared if Riot were to pull out something like that.
Yeah. And looking at the fixtures for the games we've seen this week, Potatoes versus UAH. UAH had a great game yet again after the game against Havoc. They put up yet another good game against Potatoes. A little bit of trolling. That game was sort of hard to keep track of at points, but it was, all in all, very entertaining. New Haven just couldn't pull it off against Ascent. That was a very close game that had Ascent looking pretty strong by the end of it. Nightshade 3-0'd bad at Overwatch because that Overwatch DQ, that's an automatic 3-0 for Nightshade, obviously. Good going in for them, but every team got that, so not really an advantage for Nightshade, but, you know, good for them. Riot playing WVU Mountaineers today. This is the final match of the season. One last stone to set in place on what has been a monumental season so far. Very excited to see how the story sort of wraps up before we go into the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. Back what you were saying about the Charger Blue game, that looks like something out of my quick play games, in all honesty. But really, it just goes to show how much stronger UAH Charger Blue have gotten. Just outright dominating a team like Potatoes, who, you know, have struggled here and there throughout the season, but they have been looking stronger. But Charger Blue just wanted to really knock them out of their playoff chances, and that's exactly what they did. And the rest of the teams here, they're still fighting for that, and we're gonna see how it goes here with the Mountaineers and 413 Riot today.
Yeah, and obviously, I see in the chat, you know, some people pointing out that, you know, some brutal opinions from the likes of RKO Avi that Havoc kind of bad, not gonna lie. Good game, LMAO. He says about his own game. Very interesting comments from RKO Avi. Of UAH Charger Blue that we were just talking about as we are preparing to go into this game. But first, we have something to look at after our fixtures here. We're going to be going into our Rogue Energy power rankings. And going into our 413 Rogue Energy power rankings, remember you can use code 413 Esports for 10% off your Rogue purchase. If you're maybe not looking to purchase any Rogue Energy right now, maybe you want to try to win some for free. Very close to our follower giveaways. Our sub goal giveaway, well, at 10 gifted subs, or at 10 subs, we'll be giving away Rogue Energy starter kit. Potentially there is a variety of options you can choose from with these rewards. Very excited to see who gets those. I know it was, I believe, Dacus of Havoc, actually. The support for Havoc won the Rogue Energy starter kit last time, and I know he's been having a good time with that. I know he's told me personally that he's saving some of the nicest flavors for the playoffs so that he can be at his peak performance. But really, the power rankings haven't changed up that much, Hawkshaw, since last time we saw them.
Yeah, and yeah, Riot's still in that C tier. They have looked a lot more coordinated. I have to keep emphasizing it because, like, I do think they could make a good run through the plans, like I said earlier. and Ascent in the B tier once again. They've really been that sort of up and down team. And then Charge of Blue and Catalyst still in that A tier. Charge of Blue especially, they've just been looking so solid, and whoever's gonna have to play them in the plans, they're probably gonna be a little bit scared, considering they did take down one of the top teams and prevent them from getting that undefeated record. And we still have Nightshade, Mountaineers, and Havoc up in that S tier because, they've just been so dominant throughout the entire season. And I don't really think that's going to change, especially given that they've consistently been in the top 3 all season long.
Yeah. Yeah, I got to say this S tier is one that's been pretty jam-packed with talent, and Nightshade actually has worked their way up into the S tier. They didn't start there, and I think that's something that actually really goes to speak for how well they've played throughout the season, consistently able to bring themselves up into the S tier, and they've very well deserved it. UAH Catalyst rounding out the A tier. Hawkshaw, that's your team. You guys have really, really earned your spot. I know maybe earlier in the season you were maybe middle B tier, so probably feels pretty good to see you guys at the A tier there.
Yeah, we definitely have been looking to make a lot of improvements, and yeah, we're gonna see what we can pull out for the plans, because chances are we're gonna be playing Charge of Blue, who are in that 5th spot, I believe, in the standings. But you never know. We will see what happens in the plans, because at this point, with all the competition just heating up over the last few weeks, anything could happen at this rate. So I'm really excited to see where that leads to.
Yeah, I really got to say there's just a lot of exciting things to see. Obviously, right now, though, most things for these regular seasons sort of is set in stone, except for, again, the final piece of the puzzle, Hawkshaw. We haven't gotten to see it yet, and I think we're about to be able to go into that game very shortly. I'm very excited.
Very excited to see it. Again, the final game of the regular season. Riot versus Mountaineers. I do think it could be pretty one-sided in the Mountaineers' direction, considering how dominant they've been. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I do think it could be a very dominant performance from WVU. I think Riot has to have done their homework here if they want to have a chance. I'm curious to see if they pull out any unique strategies, and we're about to see that very soon. Stick around. We're just going to go to a very, very short intermission. You don't want to go anywhere. Make sure you guys follow as well, so you're going to be able to see these playoff matches and have a chance at these giveaways. Me and Hawkshaw will be right back with you. All right, everybody, we are just about to go into what is about to be, I'm sure, a very exciting Busan. I personally have seen WVU on Busan, I believe, in our game against them, and that was back in week 1. They've certainly improved since then, and I'm excited to see what they're bringing out here, but I know for sure that this is going to be a very pressured map for Riot, because I know that WVU likes to bring out their best here, and they bring out their best on every map, so Riot's going to have a hard time. Let's what 4-3 Riot is going to be able to do against WVU Mountaineers. I'm very excited for these teams about to get at it. Hawk, are you as excited as I am?
Yeah, yeah, I'm really excited to see where this leads to. We haven't really seen the Mountaineers on Busan all that much, apart from when you said back in week 1, I believe. Um, you know, because they haven't had a lot of map picks in the past, and they've normally shifted towards Ilios, where they tend to run a lot of that monkey wrecking ball sort of dive
Yeah.
comp that we've seen in the past. So here looks like they're gonna be rolling out on a brawl comp, but
And there we go.
they're gonna be playing the Ash here.
Yeah, the point obviously not unlocking for a while now, so these teams are going to be able to set up wherever they want. I'm actually really excited to see what position they decide to take. WVU going for this leftmost room, and it makes a lot of sense. The Brawl wants to set up in a closed area, somewhere they can run out of if they need to rush onto a target, somewhere that you really can't poke them out from multiple angles. DJ Pickle from Riot, he's already low on the point here. Not going to be easy to sustain this poke, but he's doing what he needs to do, poking, getting his support some ult charges. Jay goes down, tries to get aggressive and find a flank, maybe not quite coordinated with the rest of the team, and Axis is going to punish. Therefore, the trigger is shot. WVU is running on whatever rush target they can get. They are up 1, and they want to make sure they get the advantage from this fight. WVU is going to win here and capture the point. Big plays for WVU there.
Yeah, the Ash is a bit unorthodox here. With this brawl comp, but I do like it because there's a lot of that long range and the pretty open sight lines here. So it's gonna be rough for DJ to try and get in without getting poked out too much, because you know that was the issue he had like really early on in that first fight. So
Right.
if he can negate that, then this could be good for 4-3 Riot to get an engage here.
And they are going to do so. The Anti lands onto the Brave Monk, but Axis finds DJ Pickle. Axis having yet another first blood, so to say, in this fight. Finding the first kill is huge, and it goes to show how Axis is just saving these flashbangs, ready for a dive character to come in and says, no, you're not going to do anything today. I'm going to kill you. Outskilled again. Axis finds Sweetbread. WVU is just running in, trying to get as many cleanup kills as they can. They're going to seem to almost allow DJ Pickle to live. He obviously had a lot of shield left. They would have had to go very aggressive to get him, so they're going to back up here and hold the left room. Hawkshaw, what are you seeing here from WVU that's allowing them to be just so dominant right now?
Their play with this brawl comp is textbook right now. They were holding that point up until they found that pick, and that was their go sign to get the engage they wanted. Now they're going against DJ on the Rhine here, so a different sign, so a different show here for them.
Oh, the Brave Monk making a brave play. He gets antied and decides, hey, I'm dead here. I'm just going to pin DJ Pickle, who pretty much had full health and maybe even had a Nano there off the map. Did he just pin Nano away, or have they switched characters? I'm actually not sure, but either way, that was a huge play from the Brave Monk. Got a lot of value because the Brave Monk was essentially dead to rights there, and he completely flipped that and got DJ Pickle off the map as well.
Yeah, and there's not much time left here for 4-3 Riot. This is looking really rough for them, and they really haven't gotten a foothold here. Haven't really found any picks at all here.
Oh, double high noon, they're mirroring each other. They said the voice line at the same time, and they shoot almost at the same time. That was pretty sick to see. Icy and Axis both get a pick, but Icy goes down to Axis. Icy finds the Brave Monk, who's coming back from spawns now. Big Shatter is going to hit, and there goes Axis. Wait a minute. This fight could still yet be won by 4-3 Riot. They're not going to be easy. DJ Pickle going down right now. Not going to feel good. Your Bob is no longer there to help you, and with that, WVU is just cleaning up the point. Gonna have to go into a second round of Busan here to see if Riot has anything in the tank, if they can even get a first capture right now.
Yeah, I don't really know if they even got any picks there apart from Brave Monk going off the map there. That was awfully one-sided from the Mountaineers. They just played that so well, and again, it was just them waiting for that engage early on until they got a pick, and then again, that was their go sign to just walk in. So now they're gonna be now we're going to be going to Mecha Base, where that brawl is really a comp you'll see a lot here. So I think this is looking really good for the Mountaineers here, but we're going to see what Riot can pull out here as they go onto a full brawl comp here.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, I'm actually curious to see what they're going to be able to do here, because both teams coming out, the comps are going to be pretty much what you might expect, except for WVU on something kind of interesting here, right?
Yeah, Wilson is on the Echo, so it's gonna be interesting. Typically you don't see the Echo with the brawl, with the exception of, you know, Overwatch League, but that's because of hero pools. So we'll see how it works. But he does go down though.
He does, yeah. That's the Brave Monk out of the fight right now for WVU.
Yeah,
Gino
now
Fran as well. Yeah, it looks like they found a really good target there. Riot goes in on a target, they get the wall, and they get 2 picks. WVU just has to regroup.
so yeah.
Oh, they didn't. Oh, Riot didn't cap.
Yeah, bit of a slip up there, but yeah, right, they're in pretty good control right now. That ice wall, Icy doing a good job with that ice wall to isolate these members.
Oh yeah, the grav coming out there. Gonna be a lot.
Awfully fast one.
Yeah, they get it very quickly. We have a mirror, a lot of ults, and what ends up being a very messy kill feed. There's like 1 person alive right now. Jay is the only person to survive that. The sole survivor, some may say, on the point here. Not even on the point, hiding in the high ground. The Echo almost catches the Echo,
God,
but now he's all the way. No, his team's here. His team's here to save him. This is saving Private Ryan. Everybody's going to get out alive, and we have a full team fight. Grab, high noon, walls up, Brave Monk down. But Wilson has 2 picks for WVU, and with that, it looks like they're going to be able to roll through this fight.
Yeah, and the Brave Monk was able to get that shatter off right as he died, but it was enough for him to put Jay and I put 1 or 2 other members, I forget who, to put them on the ground for the rest of the Mountaineers to clean up. So now they've gained control of this point, and they have the DPS ultimates to work with, as well as that sound barrier from both teams, I should say. So we're gonna see where this goes here, with this close hold at this choke point. But this could be good for them.
Yeah, it could be, and we see ultimates gonna come out for both teams. The beat from Gino Fran. Online Access actually still has this high noon to use. Will it come out in this fight? Not quite sure. It's kind of a stall right now. It's a stalemate, maybe to say. We see the mirror coming out on the side of Riot. They're trying to get up the stairs, but I just don't know if they can make it. Brave Monk dies trying to shatter. So unfortunate, Akshat.
No, I don't think he shot it. It was DJ who got the shatter off as he did. But Jay, he's found a couple picks. Riot trying to equalize here. Jay has found 3 so far. Icy with another. So this is looking very turnable for 4-1-3 Riot.
Yeah, they could still turn this around. It could certainly go either way. Brave Monk is down, and Riot does get this fight in their favor. This is looking really scrappy right now. Like, the way the kill feed has looked in some of these fights, it's hard to tell who's going to be the clear victor, but at the end of the day, Riot right now have percentage.
Yeah, and they've gone ahead once again in the percentage lead. So it's going to be up to them to keep maintaining that lead.
And maintain, they're going to attempt to do. There goes. I almost pre-called that, I think. The way Brave Monk tried to shatter and died. I called that last fight. Axis does get 1 here, but it's not going to be enough for WVU, as Riot is actually going to hold pretty convincingly right now. If I was WVU, I'd be a little bit concerned.
Yeah, and yeah, the Mountaineers committed 3 ultimates. They committed both tank ults as well as that Deadeye to a lost fight, and now the grab is going to come out from Grant to punish here. Oh my god, that is filthy.
That fire strike came from a mile away almost. Not really, it was pretty close, but the mirror just made it so, you know, you could see it coming. It was just terrifying. Imagine being in a grab, looking at a fire strike through a window like that from the likes of DJ Pickle. Not a fun time.
Absolutely.
Not a fun time at all.
For sure. And I have to point out one thing that we haven't really talked about here. Jay is a pretty new addition to 4-3 Riot, I believe. I don't think they've been around for too long. So it's nice to see them really doing a lot for the team here, especially in that fight where he completely turned it around with those 3 picks with Icy to follow up on that next one to really give them Riot what they needed to hold the rest of that point here.
Yeah, we've talked about some of the newer players. Jay, a new DPS for Riot, and DJ Pickle is someone we actually and Rasky Grant. This isn't exactly the tank lineup we saw before from Riot, so I gotta say it's a welcome change. They're playing pretty good with this tank line, and they actually had a really good round there to give to WVU.
Yeah, with DJ on the Rhine, they've looked a lot better recently, in my opinion. And so we're gonna see if they can keep up that momentum. But look at that Bionade.
Wow, big plays here from WVU. They're just surrounding the Brawl, and the Brawl has nobody to run on.
Yeah, that was a really good fight for for the Mountaineers. Just an immediate engage. Pretty bad idea for 4-3 Riot to go onto that coast side into the train. I believe it was KO9 who got a boop kill onto one of the members of Riot. So now the Mountaineers, they're in control of this, and look at this position from the Brave Monk and KO9. This is great to start this engage here. Look at that.
Look at that. They do. Look at these tanks. At both times, the tanks were the two in the kill feed that showed up early. It just goes to show you the coordination coming out from WVU right now. It's really impressive seeing the way these tanks are going in together and just making big things happen. KO9 and the Brave Monk are a force to be reckoned with for sure, especially when they're playing this well coordinated.
Yeah, and this is definitely the map to do so. KO9 already has this minefield. Brave Monk already at this Primal Rage as well. They're just so oppressive as a tank duo here, and it's really getting to 4-3 Riot, I think.
Yeah, oppressive is the word you would use to describe tanks, especially if you're an Overwatch developer. That's something that's been talked about a lot. And oppressive they're being right now. They're playing great and playing to their strengths, certainly. WVU has a lot of strengths, though, so it's kind of hard to tell which one they're playing to right now. KO9, with the big mines there, it catches Sweetbread. Some of them get a little stuck up in the air, but it actually kind of zones his Hanzo out of high ground in a weird way. WVU is just really dominating this fight, though. There's a pick from Jay onto the ball. KO9 goes down, gets rezzed right back up, though, so it's going to be really hard for Riot, especially with all these ultimates online for WVU. They're looking to try to secure this map here.
Yeah, and it's looking incredible for them. Not much time left for 4-3 Riot. Mountaineers have just prevented Riot from getting on the same page with the double bubble engage here. And now, again, not much time left. They're up to 90%. And here are the ultimates coming out from the Mountaineers.
The ultimates come out, indeed. We see a pulse bomb on the side of Riot trying to find something, but the Brave Monk and KO9 have already gotten 3 collectively. These two are the first in the kill feed every time on this dive this round, and they continue the trend. And obviously, they were being very well enabled by their team. WVU has a very strong third round. After Riot actually looked pretty good at a lot of moments there. Don't go anywhere, because the thing is, that was far closer than I expected, especially given that second map. That being said, WVU had a really strong final round and first round to really cap everything off. We're going to have a short intermission, but make sure you guys stick around so we can see how this map rounds out and how we will finally cap off the season going into the playoffs. Me and Hawk shall be right back. Alright, everybody, going into yet another map. Again, this game, as I've been talking about, is really just the epitome of this season. Maybe epitome, I don't know. We'll see if that's the right word or not. As seeing how the rest of this could go. We're on King's Row right now, and interestingly enough, Hawkshaw, that was Riot's map pick. That's exactly what you might expect, right?
I think they're really confident on the Brawl, seeing as they did take the Brawl map on Busan, the Brawl stage on Busan from the Mountaineers. So maybe they're feeling confident in the brawl versus brawl matchup. So I think it could be a decent pick for them, because especially with Blizzard World and Nimbani, the other two maps in the pool, those are more dive oriented for the most part. So I think.
Yeah, I
So,
think
like,
you're right.
yeah,
Like
those could
we're
be
gonna
rough
see
for
more
them.
brawl on Kings Row, obviously, and we've seen some teams try to go for a dive on Kings Row, but it's not what you would prefer, right? It's obviously you're gonna expect to see pretty hard brawl, and I think the way this game can influence the rest of the Mountaineers season and like who they're gonna have to play exactly. They want to take it seriously. There's just no way in my mind that, WVU is going to be joking around here. So if Riot is trying to bet on something like that, it's obviously not going to work. So Riot has to have a plan in mind here if they want to have a chance at this map. Let's see, what they can try to do. I like the idea they're having with the Mei here. Access probably going to swap. Might stick onto the Widow if they see a lot of early success, but obviously you usually see the Widow swap off here after a few early shots maybe. If even that, here comes Access, just taking a few shots while the team's set up, and it kind of seems like Riot almost played into that into that sight line with Baritone here right now. They're gonna not play into it enough though. He comes back out, goes onto the Mei, and Vertow found the Rasky Grant already. Here goes the trigger. WVU is rushing you down. Brave Monk is managing his shield so well, playing like I believe the Masters player or GM player he may be. Just a really great player all around. Really feels safe when you can have a tank like that leading your charge.
And Axis has moved over to the Mei off of that Widow. So yeah, this is a bit more of what you were saying. This Mei is really good for that isolation aspect, especially on a map like Kings Row, especially in this streets phase as well. And I think whoever will get these ice walls first and whoever will execute them better will end up winning those respective fights.
Yeah, those ults are going to be huge coming into this. There's a lot of rotational things that could happen. But the thing about Kings Row is it's very like straightforward, right? You're not expecting like too many weird rotations. You're expecting like just straightforward ult cycling, and I think this map can bring that out in teams. And WVU is a team that has that down pat. DJ Pickle with a nice block, doesn't manage to save Icy from it, but it really doesn't matter. The Brave Monk goes down after getting his shatter blocked to a really nice mirror from Emi, who also gets the follow-up final blow onto the Brave Monk, just melting him down there in the front line. Trying to take space for his team, he gets punished for it. Really nice block by DJ Pickle there.
Yeah, and it's a great way for Riot to stave off the Mountaineers, at least for a little bit, because we know how snowbally the streets face.
DJ Pickle just lost his barrier.
Oh no. Yeah,
that's really bad right now.
That's really bad for them,
got it back.
Especially with how hard the Mountaineers are pushing right now. Look at this, they're already at this corner here, and he's frozen up.
Wow, yeah, the WVU follows up with the mirror, and obviously you don't have any shield to rotate back. I bet the Brave Monk probably had a very similar experience that I did, where, as a Ryan player, and maybe anybody really, when you hear that shield break voice line, it's time to go. And the Brave Monk knew it, and he just went. Yeah,
there's a pick from Icy though, so that could be an opening for the Riot to go back in, but they'll need to get in quickly, because that cart is almost at that second point already. I don't think they're gonna get grabbed away.
Crazy thing is how many ults are being committed for nothing to happen right now. Like, everybody just committed ult. There hasn't been a single pick. We haven't even really had a developing team fight yet. It's pretty intense how these teams are hitting each other right now.
Yeah. Vertal committed that Dragon Strike from spawn and it hits too? What? He did that from spawn, I think. What in the world?
I'm stunned at the way that fight went. The way it's going right now, we like still aren't getting a real team fight, really.
Yeah, this is just all Mountaineers. They're just carrying so much momentum, and it's looking so bad for Riot here. And there's the Blizzard out from Axis to just continue it.
Yeah, Riot seems to be a bit caught up on holding their corners, right? Which is like a good thing, and it's working for them. A good hold is going to come through here for them, I believe. Although that being said, some picks are coming through for WVU in a very time that you just would not expect it. The Brave Monk is still alive, and he's in a room with like 4 people alone, and he kills them. He's just there, swinging. They're all dead.
Oh my
WVU
gosh.
turns that fight around somehow. See, that's the thing. Riot they played their corners and they got some picks, but they gave up so much space that by the time they finally decided to engage, there just wasn't anything left to really defend. WVU only had to get a few picks, and even the respawn timers on Kings Row weren't enough for Riot to get back.
That is a brutal time bank. 4 minutes 27 seconds for the Mountaineers on that clock.
Yeah. Especially when you consider the way that
Oh my
Riot gave up.
god.
I mean, again, I think I kind of see like what they were trying to do. They didn't want to take a fight too early and lose someone when they weren't ready to fight. But it kind of resulted in them just not taking a team fight for, this third point. It's not necessarily a snowball. Usually you should get like 2 team fights no matter what, right?
Yeah, but
You'd think at least you'd get 2 team fights there, yeah.
You would think so, yeah.
Unless if maybe you stagger when it's first capped. Even then, if you hold one of the corners, you think you'd get some spawners, but I mean, Riot didn't even get spawners because they held in their own spawn. It just, wasn't the best idea, but I think it seems like they were getting chipped out as well, and maybe just didn't feel like they have the resources to go in. So while I can sit here and, say that they didn't engage, maybe they would have engaged and just instantly lost, but even then they might have gotten a second team fight, so I don't know.
Yeah, and it's going to be the same comp on the side of the Mountaineers. The Mei on the Hanzo worked incredibly well for them on their attack, so I'm excited to see what they're going to do on the defense. Icy is on the Widow to try and get some picks, but the Mountaineers, look at how far back they are, completely out of, or that's Icy on the Widow, sorry. Out of their sight completely, at least for the time being.
Yeah, Icy doesn't really have a sightline here right now. WVU playing back pretty far. Axis is going to be able to get a nice pick there on Namimi. Icy actually still on the Widow right now. Just hasn't quite gotten the sightlines they need going on to the Mei now. So that Riot can try to get a push here with that Mei comp.
Yeah, so the McCree Mei versus the Hanzo Mei. Quite a bit of range on both sides. There's a lot of shield pressure though, with Vertile on the Hanzo, so it's gonna be rough for Riot to push through, especially when he gets a kill onto Baritone through that Matrix.
That's a really nice window. Fire Strike takes a lot of health out. That Shatter does get blocked by a lot of abilities, though. It takes out so many abilities, there's just nothing left for the rest of Riot to live. They do, however, get a lot of members back into their spawn. Not too many die, which is kind of nice. Jay takes out Vertile. That could be a huge pick if Riot could capitalize here.
Yeah, that's a really good pick. The thing is, Riot, they're just having to use so many resources to literally just try and get in.
Yeah, that is kind of the problem right now. Icy finds another pick, though. So Riot has something going. Jay has a pick, but look, WVU's turning it again right now. This is insane how WVU has just been able to turn so many fights. A lot of the times due to Brave Monk being in just really nice position to get a lot of damage in and being very well enabled by the team around him. Great pick by Vertile there on Jay. That's going to stagger out Riot a lot. They probably thought they won that. For a second, at least.
Yeah, that was a good blizzard from Axis, because, like you said, I believe Brave Monk was right there and just able to swing into them. And it's still looking great for the Mountaineers here. Both sides coming up on quite a few ultimates. So this is Riot's fight to win here. They do have that grab and the freeze that you can combo together. They have the sound barrier. Both grabs go off at the same time.
Yeah, how could you possibly try to track all these ultimates? Every ultimate in the game is being used right now, except for a couple. Some people have decided to hold into the later fight in hopes that they can turn it. Both immortality fields are out, and there comes the beat from WVU so that they can push into Riot, who just haven't committed Shatter or High Noon yet. I guess they're just taking it for next fight, I guess. But it really felt like that might have been their best chance. I guess the beat probably caused them to halt and decide, they didn't want to commit anything else to that fight. So now they do have a fight up an ult advantage, but the Brave Monk has a Shatter. Never something you want to count out.
Yeah, Riot just needs to really get these last few ultimates out of the way to at least try and give themselves an opening here. 60 seconds left, not looking good for Riot so far. They've gotten no progress on the point, and now they're going to go for the different route. They're going to go around the statue, around the right side.
Those walls fitting together like Tetris pieces, and WVU is taking the backwards rotation. Now Riot is defending the point, but the Shatter gets blocked, and the Shatter from Brave Monk is much bigger. That was huge. That rotation seemed to put Riot in a state of just not really knowing what to do. Because if Riot had maybe realized that they were now defending the point, they might have taken a bit more of an aggressive look. They don't quite do that. They sort of get ran on. The Brave Monk blocks the Shatter and gets a good Shatter of his own. Really good play there from the Brave Monk.
Yeah, he's been so incredibly impressive. as a main tank throughout this match and really just throughout the whole season. Only 10 seconds left for 4-3 Riot here, and they're gonna be running into a potential grab dragon. They're gonna use the dragon on its own, but they still have the blizzard and an upcoming grab as well.
Yeah, the Brave Monk is someone we've seen perform this way since OCS Season 2, and here he is again, just swinging so much damage going into the enemy team. He's on that freeze from Axis, who's been having an amazing game. Everybody from WVU is playing peak right now.
God.
Great Overwatch from WVU.
That was one of the most one-sided maps I've ever seen, in all honesty.
Yeah,
That
I mean,
was-
the crazy...
Go ahead.
Well, I think what really defines it is one-sided, too, was the fact that Riot had all these fights where they actually got picks, like a lot of them. 3 picks, and then the fight would just turn, almost as if we're watching an SF Shock match. WVU was turning fights in a very impressive way there.
Yeah, and that's really how you become one of those. That's really how you become one of those top teams, is realizing if you're able to turn a fight and then executing it right then and there. And that's what the Mountaineers are doing. And that's really what propelled them to full hold on that defense. And really well played from them. Just shows how good they are at their attack and their defense, both those sides. And yeah, very dominant King's Row from them. Dominating the fights that they knew they had an advantage in, as well as coming back from the fights that Riot were almost able to take.
And we are going to be right back. Make sure you guys hit that follow button. Check us out on YouTube and all the other social medias down below. We will be right back after a short intermission. You guys aren't going to want to go anywhere for this match.
Ready for battle.
All right, everybody, we are getting into the history books here, talking about how fast that King's Row was. You're just talking like OCS history, even. You're not quite sure when we've seen something that fast. Huge plays all around, both teams. You know, Riot had their moment back on Busan. Didn't quite have their moment there on King's Row. Even when they were getting picks, WVU was overall winning the team fights for the most part, with a few exceptions from Riot.
Yeah, so, yeah, back you were saying at those history books, that was a really fast time bank once again from them. And it reminded me of some other games we saw like back in last season where we were seeing like dominant 4-minute time banks.
Yeah,
it was absolutely crazy. So now we're gonna be going onto Rialto. This is once again Riot's map pick. The Brawl comp didn't work out for them, unfortunately. So they're gonna be setting up with this double shield composition on the defense with the Ashe and the Far Mercy. The Far from Icy is something we saw a couple weeks ago against Potatoes, and he absolutely rolled over them. Yeah, that was really a big part of what contributed to Riot's win in that week. So we're gonna see how it comes into play here. Mountaineers gonna be playing this Monkey Diva.
Yeah, interesting. They come out on more of a dive comp, and we actually might expect that from them here, whereas Riot is on sort of a double shield. Icy takes out Hunter Ringo. He goes off due to a boop. Now they have no Ana. WVU just looking for a way to sort of surround the enemy, get their ult charge here. Brave Lung finds a really nice dive. That's a lot of value for him there. Gets some ult charge, gets out, gets his Ana some ult charge. things you love to see if you're a monkey player. But the Ana hasn't even gotten back, and Hunter Ringo goes down again. Now WVU is probably going to have to find a hard engage because they kind of just want to regroup because their Ana can't even get back. Icy is popping off right now.
Yeah, he's already found 3 picks, and it's only been like, it hasn't even been that long. And yeah, that's a very good first fight for 4-3 Riot, and this is exactly what they need. Already a minute off the time bank and not much progress acquired for the Mountaineers here. And they really need to think of something, especially with Jay getting another pick onto Axis. Mountaineers really haven't been able to do anything, but KO9 has booped them off the high ground, so this is really good for them. Unless Icy
gets slapped here. He's just chilling right now. Icy's just big man chilling. You know, after you get a bunch of kills like that, you honestly probably don't mind getting slept. You say, you know what? I carried the team fight. It's over. I'm just going to chill out, take my hands off the keyboard and mouse for a little bit.
Yeah.
Jay. Not again.
God.
You can't keep doing this to him, man. Jay and Icy have just been dominating right now. WVU can't even get out of the spawn.
Yeah, and Jay is almost at a bomb, which is gonna halt them even more.
The
KO9...
flip. Sorry, the flip of momentum here has just been amazing. Shot to see.
Yeah, it's unreal. KO9 has finally emerged up to the high ground to try and contest Riot, but
Jay again.
Oh my God. He's not.
This is a new DPS for Riot, and he's showing up in the big moments. Brave Monk and Axis, though, have gotten Sweetbread. Icy going down is huge. Sweetbread gets Riz back, but Icy being out is huge. He was a big part of those later team fights. The Brave Monk's now in with a nano, and he's cleaning up right now.
And Grant on the point now. He's not going to be able to touch for that much longer with the rest of the Mountaineers just rolling right over. And this is finally what they needed. Icy just gonna back all the way up, doesn't want to get poked out here. Riot not gonna be able to contest that, so it's a 4-minute time bank for the Mountaineers for the second point, and that's an early pick. It's gonna stagger out Riot. So yeah, looking good for the Mountaineers right now.
And the Mountaineers certainly seem to be up and ahead. They're going to actually commit ultimates the bomb, only catching an M more, but it's going to be huge because they have a sort of 3v3 right now to take, and they're taking it. WVU's in right now. KO9's fighting, brawling his way through this point, and look at these tanks going in. Look at Sweetbread going down. Icy follows.
That was a great speed boost from Gino Fran. That's really what helped them just propel onto
Gino Fran almost got out alive.
Oh, that's...
But Jay says no.
That's unfortunate for Gino Fran. But if you're the Mountaineers, you're still pushing this cart. You're still getting a lot of distance, and you have ultimates to work with. But so does Riot. They have 4 ultimates online with Icy building up that barrage as well. So this is where they're going to start being used from 4-3 Riot to potentially stave off the Mountaineers.
Yeah, that's what they're going to have to try to do here right now. It's their only opportunity. Just trying to stave them off, and stave so far. That's exactly what they're going to do, finding a lot of picks. Jay and Sweetbread combining there. Sweetbread showing up big in that moment. 4-3 Riot are having some great games right now. Some great plays as the Brave Monk's going in. KO9 gets a remake kill on Jay. And he follows up on Baritone. KO9 is a one-man show right now. Absolutely popping off in the kill feed. But he's going to go down. His team's going to have to clean up this point if they want to be able to finish up this fight. DJ Piccolo is now antied. Going to be a hard one for Riot to hold.
Yeah, it's only Grant and Icy right now. Grant is the only one on the point contesting Baritone. Really trying to keep him up there. The DPS for Riot now are back. Icy does have a barrage, so if he can really play around the DPS, there could be an opening here. That's a good pick onto Hunter Ringo to start off with, but I don't really know if it's going to be enough because Wilson and Axis and everyone on the Mountaineers really getting their fair share. And that's the second point. Pretty decisively once again.
Yeah, very decisive. That being said, Riot has had some obvious team fight wins, and they've really started to push momentum in their favor, but this is a decent enough time bank for WVU. They're certainly not upset about this. This is a hard third point to get. It could be especially hard against the double shield. Let's see what WVU Mountaineers have to try to unlock this third point for them.
Yeah, so on the side of 4-3 Riot, you have that supercharger, you have the Valk, and you have the barrage. One thing I wanted to point out earlier that I think really turned the tides of the fight was Baritone's res getting canceled by Brave Monk, who used the Primal Rage. He's using it once again. Axis gets slipped out of that Deadeye though, but the self-destruct is gonna kill off Jay.
Yeah, WVU has a great group of plays there. They're all very coordinated. The ultimates are coming in well for them, and Riot don't even get to use their ultimates there. That's gotta hurt.
Icy died with the barrage like twice, I believe, at least twice. Once on the second point, and he couldn't use it in their recontest. And then he just died with it there in that last fight, and the Mountaineers were just able to push it in. That's a really good time bank, given how hard it is to full cap on this map. 2 minutes 34. That's great for the Mountaineers here.
Yeah, I think the Mountaineers are actually feeling plenty happy with that time bank that they've managed to get. Now they have a chance to defend Riot. We're gonna have to push in here and try to beat that time bank. It's certainly not going to be an easy one to accomplish.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna see what the Mountaineers opt to run on their on this defense here.
Ready for battle.
Looks to be the Monkey Diva once again, which again really worked well for them with the Brave Monk and KO9 just being such a great tank duo. They're really just able to do so much and really just help lead their team to these fight wins, along with just the rest of the team enabling them to do so. And I think we're going to be seeing the same once again, right? They're going to be going out with the exact same comp they ran on the attack, I believe. But I don't really know how well it's going to work here. You do have a lot of angles that you can take here, but if the Mountaineers can really just really shut down that tank line, then I don't really know if it's going to matter for Riot.
Yeah, and here we will go. The teams now coming out of the gate. WVU, they have the Brave Monk set up on this flank. He wants to try to draw up into the backline here, Hawkshawn. Hopefully separate this double shield comp.
Yeah, like, seems like what he's looking to do. We're going to see. He's going to go down the stairs, so he's not going to opt to do that quite yet. He does try and contest the point a little bit.
Yeah, they're poking it out, sort of backing off and just letting the double shield take their space while hopefully building their ultimates, but Jay finds Axis. That's a huge pick for Riot.
Yeah, Brave Monk still on the high ground. He can contest the point from there, which is good for the Mountaineers, just to buy some time. And now they're trying to push in. That's a good pick onto Icy. It was KO9 who really just was messing with him to allow Wilson to get that kill. He does get res back up though by Baritone, but there's no immortality field left for 4-3 Riot here. So they're running pretty low on resources here. And now the Valk is out from Genofran. So I think this is looking pretty decent now for the Mountaineers, but that window is out, which could help turn things around.
Rasky Grant gets so low here, barely managing to survive Axis. Finding himself dead on the point, along with Wilson. WVU now just trying to get a fight to scrap together.
Yeah, Brave Monk does get the nano, so they're really committed to winning this. But so are Riot. They commit that Bob, and they still have the Supercharger online if needed. But it's still looking good for them. Baritone's on 1 HP. No, he can't get away. Brave Monk with that Primal Rage is able to get him out of the sky. And DJ as well goes down to Hunter Ringo. And there's still a few people left from the Mountaineers to contest the point.
Yeah, they're trying their best, trying to hold it. Ultimates, though, are online for both teams. I think Riot has the ultimates to be able to push through and win this if that's what they want to do.
Oh no, the bomb.
That bomb, yeah, Baritone goes down to it. Here comes Sigma Flux. Wilson's Bob is going to catch Icy as well. Very hard to stay in the skies when there's a Bob on the ground. Just a gun taking you down out of the air there.
Yeah, and that's a great turnaround from the Mountaineers. It was like what we were talking about at the end of King's Row, how they're just able to turn around these fights that look like Riot wins, or that look like are won by Riot, but the Mountaineers just say, nope, we're going to try and turn this around. And that's what they're doing, is what they do here once again. Great ultimate usage by them. Wilson built up another Bob pretty quickly there, as well as that self-destruct from KO9 to really seal the fight win for them. And Riot, they haven't gotten to use the supercharging yet, I don't think. So they do have some ultimates online here, but that's a very early pick, and they're just gonna keep going in with that nano onto the Brave Monk to just push them back even further. Oh my god, he's practically in the spawn room.
Yeah, he goes all the way in and goes down as a result of it. Now it's Riot. They do have ultimates on their side if they want to try to push this here. They have a 5v6 to take. If their support can get back in time right now, they're pushing a 5v5. And again, they have the ultimates to win this.
Yeah, both DPS ults, that Matrix, and the Supercharger. But 30 seconds left, they really need to to really just use these ultimates. Now there's the Bonga that comes down, and Wilson is down as well, so that's a good opening for Riot here, as well as that barrage and the kill onto the Brave Monk.
Yeah, they get a huge barrage there. It's obviously comes off the back of just a huge opening for Riot. They're going to go in and certainly capture this point. Not very much time left on the bank, but they do get it in. And this second phase is going to be on WVU to hold. This can be kind of hard for the defenders sometimes. It can also be hard for the attackers, though, if they don't get across this bridge without the enemy team setting up really nicely on high ground. That being said, probably not going to happen. It seems like they're being harassed. WVU isn't going to be able to sort of poke out that high ground that they might like to.
Yeah, they have a couple members pretty low, so they'll just need to get topped up, but Ringo is able to just farm that nano boost off the back of it, and Wilson has another Bob, KO9 with another self-destruct, Brave Monk going in with that Primal Rage, gonna knock Sweetbread right off the map.
Wow, he does indeed. There goes Sweetbread. Wilson has some picks to his name right now, and WVU has a strong fight on their hands. Not much time left for Riot, but they have over a minute, and they have Bob Sigma online. That could be huge.
Yeah, and this is where the Pharah pick. This is where you should maybe start thinking about switching off of it, because look at all this open space with the over this bridge area, and it's just there's just so much free range for Axis and Wilson to really just shoot from.
Yeah, that's free range for them that they're going to take. Wilson sort of frontlining to get that Bob in a very nice position, honestly.
Yeah, and he does get rocked onto that boat, or rather onto those stairs. DJ does go down though, so from Wilson with finishing him off, sorry, with that dynamite. Sweetbread killing off Axis though, so Riot once again trying to equalize, but the Brave Monk and KO9 are so far forward to just push Riot back.
Oh no, they found the Pharah.
Oh,
I think they found the Pharah.
And he goes down.
Yeah, there comes the Flux though. A lot of ultimates are online. That bomb.
Oh my god.
Huge.
That's filthy. That is absolutely filthy. And another great fight win for the Mountaineers here. Axis has moved over to the Echo, which I think he can really do a good job of taking Icy out of the sky there. More ultimates online for the Mountaineers here with 30 seconds left on the clock for their defense. They have that nano boost that has been consistently applied to the Brave Monk, who has just been able to provide so much value and just push back the Mountaineers so much and get these kills. And I think we're going to be seeing the same here.
Yeah, I think that's what we're going to look for. The Brave Monk is going in here. He has his ultimate online. They're going to use it and commit, but Jay finds Mercy with the Bob. Picks are coming through for both teams right now. We see Nano coming out, but Hunter Ringo goes down.
Yeah, and this is good for Riot, but they still need to get all this distance on the card. They're only a little over halfway through on this second point. So this is going to provide the Mountaineers with enough time to get a recontest here. So we're gonna see how that ends up going down here. They don't have any ultimates to work with though. Whereas Riot, they're gonna commit that Matrix and the barrage here.
Oh, and they don't quite get to all get there at the same time before picks start coming through for Riot. WVU is just trying to contest at the last second. This is getting scrappy as I can get, but we see some picks here for Riot. They could start to keep this fight in their favor without WVU turning it like it happened on Kings Row.
And there they go. They cap that second point. Not with as much time as the Mountaineers did, however. But at this point, if they could just complete the map, then this could be really good for them here. Only a little over a minute left here. However, Brave Monk is going to move over to that Rhine, and I think this could be good for them. It'll just he could just walk right into that double shield and really just get a lot of that ult charge from just swinging onto it.
Yeah.
However, DJ has that supercharger once again. Looks like he's probably going to use it here, and there it is.
DJ is in. There's the supercharger and the Flux as well. Gets the Brave Monk up in the air, but he lives. A lot of help from his supports there to keep him alive through that ultimate. Now, it looks like WVU is looking to contest this. They are holding a corner strong. The Brave Monk is low and he's down. They don't get the nano onto him, and he goes down. Ultimate's now online for WVU, though, starting to turn this fight in their favor. This is Riot's last chance to win this.
Yeah, and that's huge for the Mountaineers. I don't know if that res was really needed at this point. You're already down quite a few if you're Riot. So yeah, you're just gonna have to go back at this point, get a quick reset, and build up these ultimates. Mountaineers, they have a lot of ultimates online here. They almost have that Bob, they have that copy, and that self-destruct, and the nano boost. This is looking great for the Mountaineers here. 3 seconds left. They do get the touch onto the point, but it's still looking bad for them as they're just scrambling to try and get some semblance of a fight here.
Yeah, that's what they're trying to do. The Bob is in, finds Jay, mirror up, and it looks like WVU has this fight already, Hawkshaw. It looks like this could be the game.
Yep, that Bob from Wilson doing work as well. Mountaineers completely steamrolling that final fight, and that is how they're gonna top off this 3-0 win. Pretty close at some points, but at other times completely in the favor of the Mountaineers, like you saw on their Kings Row attack and the Rialto attack. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, there may have been some bright spots for Riot, but overall that looked very, very dominant for WVU. They had a great game, and it came off the back of a lot of great players. Just to name a few, I mean, we saw a great game from Brave Monk. People like Gino Fran, Axis, Wilson were in the kill feed all day long. Gino Fran had some nice reses, and the Lucio play was clean. Really good play all around from WVU to be able to get that win.
For sure, and this is gonna, I believe, put them up in that first place spot to end off the regular season, which is good for them because whoever they play in the play-ins, they're gonna have to play whoever wins the play-ins rather. For that final in the final four bracket. So we're gonna see how that all goes down next week.
Yeah, that's what we'll see next week. Make sure you guys are hitting that follow again to have a chance at these very exciting giveaways. And most of all, you guys are not going to want to miss these playoffs. I'm checking with production because I believe that is all we have for today. Production, are we ready to sign off? Okay, well, thank you guys for joining us again. Make sure you guys hit that follow button so you don't miss these very, very exciting playoff matches yet to come. I cannot wait to see what these teams bring out. This has been what the season has been building to, so make sure you guys don't miss it. And yeah, hit that follow button so you don't miss the playoffs. And hit that bell as well. You'll be notified. I believe there's a notification thing on Twitch, so make sure you guys don't miss those playoff games. Make sure you check out our VODs on YouTube of the previous matches. You guys have a great night. This is Jump Penny and Hawkshaw, 413 signing off.